What you're looking at is a 2023 Kawasaki Viquaro. I can't say that, but anyway, that's what it is. Basically what this is Kawasaki's answer to the Road Glide. It has a fixed fairing, or frame-mounted fairing. Very low mileage, and they're asking $12,995 for this motorcycle. Brand new, 2024, which is the same. In fact, these bikes been the same for like, I don't know, at least 10 or 12 years. New, you're talking about 19.5. So very low mileage, practically brand new. But let's take it for a ride, see what it's like. We got a very low seat height. I'm gonna guess at 26 inches or so, pretty low. So, you know, if you're 5'2" or taller, you're gonna flat foot this bike rather easily. We have analog gauges, stereo of course. All your controls are right here. I'm not sure what they all do, but here's where your controls are. The horn switch, signal lights, starter, on, off. Let's check maneuverability. By the way, there's a aftermarket exhaust on here. Sounds pretty good, a little loud, but I believe these bikes have about a 30-degree lean angle, which is pretty good for a cruiser. So let me talk a little bit about this motorcycle. This is a very fine touring motorcycle, and it's priced right. As far as styling goes, it's a good-looking motorcycle. Like I said, it's Kawasaki's version of the Road Glide, which, as Kawasaki knew, is a big seller for Harley Davidson. So let's make a similar motorcycle, but charge thousands and thousands of dollars less. That's what they did. They did this, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago when this model came out. The funny thing is, it's never been a big seller. In fact, it's been such a poor seller that many of the Kawasaki dealers wouldn't even stock this bike because they didn't want it sitting around in the showroom for a year or two. Pre-COVID, you could find these bikes 2-3 years old, brand new, still sitting in the showroom. Why is that? I really can't say. Generally, if like Indian, priced very, very similar, within a few $100 of Harley Davidson, they sell okay, nowhere near the volume that Harley has. But this bike is, like I said, $5,000 or $6,000, brand new, $5,000 or $6,000, and it was just a couple of years ago about $8,000 less than an equivalent Harley Davidson. Yet they don't sell well. My thinking was always that when you get up around that $20,000 or above price range, people want to get a Harley Davidson. They figure, why, you know, I'll spend the extra money and get a Harley. Or people figure, well, if I'm going to spend between $17,500 and $20,000, don't want to spend 25, 26 grand for Harley. Well, there are plenty of used Harley Davidsons around that are in that price range, and I would imagine is a lot of people figure, well, I'm not going to spend that kind of money on a bike like this, and the resale value isn't that good. There aren't near as many dealers around. There's not a whole bunch of aftermarket pieces for this bike, this despite the fact that it's been around for so many years. But if you want to add a little more power, or there's no like Harley has stage 1, stage 2, 3, etc., you don't get that with this particular model. Now, there are companies that will give you more power by, you send them your ECM and they modify it and send it back to you, and that's good for about 10 more horsepower, but mainly it helps the drivability. That's one of the problems with this bike. Some people may notice, or some people may not, but on and off throttle response, it gives a sort of a herky-jerky feeling, and most manufacturers have, it's all due to the smog devices. Most manufacturers have mastered this and don't have that problem, but for some reason Kawasaki still does have some drivability problems. Not a big deal. And don't misunderstand, this is a fine riding motorcycle, great touring bike, and it is priced right. So, you know, if you're a little short of cash, this might be the perfect bike for you, especially when you could find one like this used with 4,800 miles on it, and for just under $13,000. Really, that's a steal. Because, you're saving $7,000. That's a nice chunk of change. When I say saving $7,000, that's over a brand new one. As I said, brand new one is right around $19,000. I think there's $500 prep fee or freight, and the dealers can charge anything they want for that. But I'm guessing if you wanted a brand new one, you could probably save some money and bargain with them, which is going to be a little harder to do with Harley Davidson. It can be done, and right now is a good time, especially with the 2023 models, to save some money. But generally, you're going to pay MSRP at least at a Harley Davidson dealership. At a Kawasaki dealership, I guess it depends on the inventory and how fast they want to move motorcycles. But I've heard people getting $1,000, $1,500 off a brand new one. But still, this at $13,000 with 4,800 miles, it's an excellent buy. And if you're the type of person that doesn't really care about the name on your motorcycle and you want to do some serious touring, this is the perfect bike for this. They also make the Voyager, which is really the same bike but with a tour pack. And again, they just don't sell very well despite the fact that they're priced right. So hustle down to New Port Richey Harley Davidson, take this bike for a ride, save yourself a bunch of money, and have a fine touring motorcycle that you won't see passing you by in the opposite direction every day, because as I said, it's a nice touring bike, but very few people actually buy these. And that's not the fault of this motorcycle. As I said, it's a fine touring bike. It's priced right, especially if you get a used one. Comes standard with ABS, which is a very important thing to have, at least in my opinion. But for whatever reason, there aren't enough buyers for this bike, so they tend to languish in their showrooms. A lot of dealers don't want to stock them. But when you find one like this with very low mileage and runs just fine, yeah, maybe I'd put some baffles in those pipes to bring back that low-end torque. But other than that, this bike is just perfect and priced right. I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to click that notification bell. Thanks for watching. If you have some ideas as to why this motorcycle has never sold very well all throughout its history, hey, comment below. Maybe you got a better idea than I do. Thanks for watching once again.